Chinese artist Cai Guoqiang just had a massive fireworks show. What does it look like? It is titled Rising Dragon, and it happened at the Tibetan Plateau in Shigaze, I think, China, around 5,500 meters above sea level. And people are really upset. So this happened on 19 September 2025 on a Friday evening. The fireworks were massive, okay? Massive. The show featured 3 sequences of fireworks ignited through powder blasts along the mountain ridge, creating a dragon-shaped spectacle all the way going up. And Mr. Cai was also the mastermind behind the 2008 Beijing Olympic Games fireworks. So as you know, he is well known. So this video that you see, right, this Rising Dragon video that we are showing here is now actually deleted, okay? Because after the display of Rising Dragon, Mr. Cai suffered huge public criticism that erupted on Weibo. Discussions reached over 92 million views in 2 days, reflecting widespread anger. People are really upset. And by the way, this was a collab done by an outdoor brand, T-Rex, I believe, and Mr. Cai Guoqiang, okay? So people are really upset because the public are now accusing the event of being environmentally harmful, culturally disrespectful, and ecologically reckless. That is a lot of Lee. And if you must know, the plateau, the mountain range, the plateau is a fragile ecosystem where even a tire mark can take decades or even centuries to heal. Just a tire mark. Now you just set off like a whole load of fireworks all the way resembling a dragon all the way up the mountains. How much time do we need to heal this? Imagine a tire mark takes, if we're fast, decades to heal. Slow, centuries. So this one, how long will it take to heal? Do not know. Fireworks also cause smoke, noise pollution, and sound waves that could threaten glaciers already at risk from climate change. So the loud boom 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 of the fireworks can threaten the glaciers. What happened if the glaciers were to, I don't know, could it crack from the sound waves? And could it cause I'm not sure, we'll have less ice. Furthermore, the noise is also a disturbance to plateau wildlife. You should know there are wild animals living on the mountains on the evening trying to sleep. What if you frighten them and they, hop away from their homes? And lastly, these mountains are sacred to the natives, okay? Local traditions revere the mountain deities and discourage loud booms. So now, as you can see, this video is already taken down. You won't be able to see it. And by Sunday morning, 22nd September 2025, the local government has announced on its local WeChat account that an investigation team has been set up, which immediately rushed to the site and will handle the matter in accordance with law and regulations. So now, time for the apologies. First, from the brand that was collabing with Mr. Cai, Arterix has apologized, admitted the event was in direct opposition to their outdoor commitments. You know the irony, right? You are collabing with an outdoor brand, collabing with an artist actually did harm to the environment. The irony of it all, okay? So now they have pledged to invite a third-party environmental organization, to assess everything and see how they can proceed with immediate remedial actions. And Mr. Cai Guoqiang himself has apologized and also pledged to cooperate with authorities and third-party institutions and take practical restoration actions ASAP. This just in, a 16-year-old boy surnamed Huang from Xiamen, Fujian actually underwent a body lengthening treatment for 6 months between February to August 2025. And it did work, it worked because in 6 months after weekly treatments, he actually grew an extra massive length, or should I say height, of 1.4 cm. It worked, ladies and gentlemen. He also spent 16,700 yuan on this treatment, this whole series of treatment, which is around 2,350 USD. And this treatment was conducted weekly or bi-weekly, but it worked. After 6 months. He finally grew 1.4 cm. Congratulations. A few questions first of all. Number 1, you are 16 years old. Dear boy, you are still undergoing puberty. Why are you so worried about your height? Because, believe it or not, apparently he skipped one treatment. So, and then in that 2 weeks that he skipped that treatment, lo and behold, he shrank back to 165 cm. So at 16 years old, this boy is already 165 cm. Honestly, for Asian Chinese, being 165 cm at 16 years old is really okay, you know. It's not the end of your puberty, you know. You can still grow, I think, until age 21, 22. Honestly, instead of spending this money, you could just be doing sports. Just go and play basketball every day. Play basketball 3 hours a week. And I'm pretty sure by the time you're 18 or 21, you should be at least 170 cm, 170 cm. Because, I mean, honestly, when you go for these treatments, right, each session is just stretching your legs using medical equipment to like so-called activate his knees so you can stimulate bone growth, when you can actually just go and do sports, okay? Go and jog, go and jump, go and play basketball. Basketball is key. I mean, honestly, basketball is key because basketball has a lot of jumping motion, which stimulates growth also. Okay, anyway, Anyway, you know, as we have mentioned, he skipped one treatment and in that 2 weeks, he shrank back to 165 cm. He lost at 1.4 cm that he has painstakingly gained over the 6 months of treatments. And believe it or not, like we were left wondering here, why is he doing this when he's 16 years old? Even he was supported by his father, Huang's father, who actually took his son for treatment every week or every bi-weekly. So, and the most surprising thing was the institution that did this body lengthening treatment for Huang actually provided a full refund of 16,700 yuan to Huang's family, because they admitted that Huang was too old to be corrected and should not have undergone the treatment. Finally, some common sense. Finally, everything that I just said previously in the last 2 minutes is evident here, because yeah, there is no need for you to be doing all this. You are still going to be growing, boy. So to my short kings out there, don't worry if you are still young, okay? Because puberty can go on forever until even 20 plus years old. The most important thing, just do your stretching exercise, do jumping exercise, play more basketball. You can do it. Control your intrusive thoughts right now. This just happened in China's Shenzhen, where a male employee of a bubble milk tea shop did the unthinkable. On September 17, 2025, he was caught on camera actually showing the male employee removing his slipper and putting it into a basin filled with pearls, also known as Boba, which many of you love, okay? And if you're thinking, what is he doing that? Could that be the secret ingredient to the secret sauce of the Boba milk tea for this shop, this brand? No, that is not it. Could it be because this male employee couldn't find a ladle to scoop up the boba, so he decided, you know, to be creative and use his slipper? No. There is actually no cause or reason for the employee to be behaving in such a manner besides, my best guess, intrusive thoughts. He then stirred the pearls with his bare hands. I mean, why use your bare hands when your slipper is there? Use your slipper as a stirrer. Anyway, he then stirred the pearls with his bare hands and then use it to fill up the pearls into milk teacup, you know. So basically, you are getting the special flavor of his worn slipper, his bare hands, which I believe also he didn't wash. And also, I believe he wasn't washing his slippers in boba. It was just purely intrusive thoughts. There are no further context on why did this man do this. Anyway, the shop manager was shocked, okay? Everyone is shocked, and he has stated that as of now, all raw milk tea ingredients have been completely destroyed and cleaned. Or should I say clean and destroyed? But why would you need to clean it if you're going to be destroying it? Doesn't make sense. And the ingredients shown in the viral video were also discarded. The shop still remained closed for rectification, and obviously this incident is now viral all over the net. And even more shocking context, believe it or not, okay? People are still wondering what is going on. Is the employee bearing a grudge against the boss or the shop or the manager? I'm gonna tell you something even more shocking context. That was the employee's first day at work. Okay, what was this? Could this be a sabotage effort by a rival competitor, and this employee actually removed the slipper and put it into the boba within the first hour during his first day of work? Shocking. Boys and girls, don't let your intrusive thoughts take over you, okay? Especially when dealing with Boba. Could this be another case of intrusive thoughts? I mean, this Starbucks employee at the Kuala Lumpur KL International Airport Terminal 2 actually uttered the word bow to the door. Okay, I can't even say the full word here. It's bow to the door, which means saying silly. Silly is a kinder term word to use. If not, it also means stew to the pit. That's all I can say, okay? And this was because the tourist that the staff was serving wasn't fluent in English and couldn't really order the drinks that the Chinese tourists wanted. I mean, the Chinese tourists did their best. You can even see that they were using a translation app, to translate their orders. They were already putting effort in, but the staff seemed to be really impatient. And when the tourist was asking like, how much is the total of the 2 drinks, the staff could be heard, being impatient, saying, oh, the other drink that you want is not available. And then finally uttered the word bow to the door, which means silly, which is a kinder term again. A more appropriate translation would be stew to the pit, under her breath, which has been caught on camera, by the way. So this insulting remark was not noticed by the Chinese tourists at first, but was caught on video and then posted later on Towing when someone pointed out, what did that person say to you in front of you? Oh my god. And this video sparked anger, okay? Anger among Malaysian netizens too, who condemned the staff's rude behavior. I mean, it was really rude, no? So you are basically insulting people face to face because you assume they don't understand what you're saying. And maybe you were even smiling while saying that. And some Malaysians even commented that how embarrassing, And also taking note, this happened at the airport terminal of Kuala Lumpur, the capital city of Malaysia. So this is a place that has a ton of tourists, and you being an employee at the Starbucks there, you should know better. Most of the customers there are tourists and foreigners to your country. And some even highlighted this is not the first time Malaysian service staff were being caught rude to foreigners. Not sure if the service staff, the employee here, is a millennial or Gen Z, but if you know another unwritten story, some people have been saying Gen Z service staff seem to have, more impatience towards customers and also rudeness also. But this is all alleged, okay? But let me know if you wanna discuss this topic. Anyway, finally, Starbucks Malaysia has issued a public apology to both the tourists and all netizens who are angered, which should be angered. The company has expressed deep regret over the staff's behavior, stating it did not align with Starbucks' core values. Yes, and this staff has been dismissed as of September 21st, 2025. So once again, be kind and considerate, show people, Malaysia boleh, not Malaysia, what you said, bo to the, I don't want to say it, okay. Crime. The crime of loving your school so much that you actually paid for 200 mattresses for them. This is your last story of the day. Follow us for more. This just happened on September 18, 2025 in Singapore, where a 78-year-old man was scammed out of 67,500 Singapore dollars. This happened because the victim, a Hua Chong alumni, received a call from a teacher claiming to be from Hua Chong institution. This is really important. It is because of the victim's love and kindness and passion to help his school, Hua Chong, that led him to be in this state. So during the call, the scammer invited the victim, come down to the school. We need your help, please, to organize an event, and even ask for his license plate number. This is the part that I don't understand. Why would a scammer ask for the victim's license plate number? If anyone has further context why giving away your license plate number might be dangerous, please tell us in the comments, because license plate number is something like everyone can see on the road, so it's a bit scary that this might be crucial in how he got scammed. I know no idea, but please let us know. The scammer then provided details of the victim's school enrollment history, especially that of Hua Chong, I believe, which convinced the victim of the scammer's authenticity. The next day, the scammer, pretending to be a teacher, called again, this time telling the victim, the school need your help. We need to buy 50 mattresses from a supplier in Malaysia, and if you're asking why can't the school just buy directly, the school has a fallout with this supplier, so it would be good if you're the alumni, right? Could you please pay for the mattresses for your dearest Hwa Chong school first. So obviously, the victim, Mr. Huang, 78-year-old, was a bit suspicious, so he decided to contact the supplier. But guess what? That supplier also turned out to be a scam. So now the supplier, which is also the scammer, explained to the victim, Mr. Huang, saying that yes, there is a fallout between the school and you might want to pay for these mattresses soon because there is going to be a Ministry of Education review soon and an MOE review soon. So maybe the school might want these mattresses delivered soon and fast. First time I'm reading this, I'm wondering, how could you fall for this? Why would a school want 50 mattresses? And in the end, they ordered 200 mattresses? How could you be believing that a school needs 200 mattresses? Make it make sense, okay? I mean, if you're telling me they need 200 tables and chairs, fine, but why mattresses? Well, Hwa Chong has a boarding school, so it makes sense now. So basically, the school, the story painted allegedly, I'm guessing to the victim is, your beloved school, you are the Hwa Chong alumni, your beloved school needs this batch of new mattresses because there might be an MOE review soon. And hopefully you can pay for them because there's a fallout between the school and the supplier. So on believing that, the victim, Mr. Huang, then transferred 18,500 Singapore dollars for 50 mattresses with promises of immediate shipment. Remember, allegedly there was going to be an MOE review soon. And then, the scammer probably thinking, oh my god, how was this so easy? Probably, you know why? Because the scammer then asked Mr. Huang, you know what? We need 150 more mattresses. So in total, we need 200 mattresses. So the victim, the poor victim, honestly, poor thing to him because he really do this out of the kindness of his heart. He was like, oh my god, okay, fine, I can pay a deposit. But the supplier now tell him, if you're only paying a deposit, the supplier is a scammer too, by the way. The so-called teacher and the so-called suppliers are both scammers. Now tell the victim, Mr. Huang, if you're paying a deposit, there might be delay in shipment. And are you sure you want to do that? Because I thought there's going to be an MOE review. You might really want all these 200 new mattresses. So poor Mr. Huang actually paid in total 67,500 Singapore dollars for a total of 200 mattresses. And when the victim expressed doubt, the scammer showed him a fake screenshot, and the screenshot showed an amount of 96,000 Singapore dollars being transferred to the account, which should be a red flag at this point. Mr. Huang should have noted why does the amount doesn't match 67,500 Singapore dollars. It was showing 96,000 Singapore dollars. This is a red flag in itself. But Mr. Huang obviously was kind of overwhelmed by the whole matter, maybe, because he's really doing this out of the kindness of his heart to his school, his Hwa Chong alumni. Finally, Mr. Huang did what every reasonable man would do, check with the bank, but the bank told him, you probably made a transfer to a foreign entity that would take 1 working day at least to reflect on your statement. So he really couldn't confirm the authenticity there. But Mr. Huang's employee was really worried that, their boss was sending such large amount of money. So the employee warned Mr. Huang's daughter, and together they finally discovered that, lo and behold, Mr. Huang was scammed. Mr. Huang then made a police report, but the thing with such scam cases is, once that money is out, it is hard to get it back in. Even if the scammers are caught, the scammers can claim the money is gone, they're unable to make compensation. That is the brutal reality of being scammed. Once the money is out, it is really hard to take it back, even if the scammers are caught. Unless they have funds left, but most likely, they would somehow say, sorry, the funds are all gone even though I'm caught. So for now, Hwa Chong Institution has confirmed the school is aware of such impersonation scams, involving fraudsters posing as staff. This isn't the first time this has happened, and this often involve fake bids involving not just mattresses, but even could be flowers, equipment, and any materials, or even food, or even meetings scheduled in schools, and such forth. Once again, crime. The crime of loving your school so much, you wanted to help them out of the bottom of your heart, and that got the better of you. Crime does not pay, though Mr. Huang did pay for 200 imaginary mattresses that didn't arrive.